name's Chelsea and I'm doing an AED video. AED is automated external defibrillator. When you would use this is if a person collapses or they're unconscious or you can't find a pulse or there's no pulse given during vitals, and if they're not moving or their skin color. Precautions for the AED is when you put the pad placement, before you do that, you would make sure that they don't have any clothing on, that they're bare skin. You would also make sure they don't have hair, and if they do have hair over the sites that need to be where the pad has to go, you would use either a razor that's usually in the AED, and if it's not in the AED, you would use the sticky side of the pads to rip the hair. As soon as that happens, you place the pad. Also to look for is if they have, if they're wet, you want to make sure they're dry. Also, for the AED itself, you make sure it's up to date and that nothing is expired and all that. So, looking at the AED, usually at most sites they have them, if not. So usually in the AED it comes with pads and it usually comes with a razor. There's always instructions with pretty pictures so anyone can know how to use this. The pads, they're usually two sizes. There's a large and there's a small for kids and for adults. So when looking at it, you can see the size chart given right there, and then it also tells you what to do when using the pads, and that they have also the placements, and also this would be for, so when you would do the AED, you would look at the instructions. It tells you to turn it on, so you would turn it on and wait for further instructions that the machine tells you. So then it'll tell you to plug in the pads and place the pads, and after that it will analyze the heart, and once it analyzes the heart, it'll tell you either no shock given or to give a shock. And then when you're doing that, you make sure that no one is touching the body, even including yourself, and you would say stand clear, wait until a shock's given. Once shock is given, then you either listen if they say shock again, or you start CPR. So, as a scenario, we have the person collapse right here. So you would do what you would do for CPR. You would check the scene, make sure the scene is safe for yourself and for other people around you. Once you go up to the person, you go, hey, are you okay? Once they are not responsive, you would have, if there's people around you, you would have people, one person go call 911, one person go to the AED, and then if you have a lot of people around you, you can do one where they do crowd control, so you have enough space and no one's crowding you. So once that happens, and since I have the AED right next to me, you wouldn't say go to the AED with that person unless some further distance. You would put it next to you, make sure that they have their clothing off, everything. Make sure that there's no hair, there's no wetness, and if they have a pacemaker or metal, don't remove it. The pads meaning. Once you have that, you turn it on and listen for further instructions. If they tell you to plug it in, place the pads, and then they'll analyze the heart, make sure no one's around touching the victim, nothing. Make sure that when also doing that, there's no water that's right next to the patient. If they're in an area where it can become dangerous, move the patient to a more stable environment. And then you would have, once you place the pads and you listen to further instructions, we'll analyze the heart, stand clear. They say shock deliver or provide shock. You would press this button and then give a shock, make sure no one's touching the patient, including yourself. Once that happens, then you would have, they would tell you to do CPR and there's further shock given. And then you would continue this until either it tells you to stop or the patient becomes conscious again or EMS arrives.